Hey folks, Alex Terrace, healthhacksreview.com. I had to make this video. It's not, going to be the best video because it's not going to go too deep into this technology, but I'm on the road. I'm so busy helping so many people, and it's just like, gosh, I have so much content, so much research to get out there. At least let me just get out another energy medicine device that people need to at least know about so they can at least do their homework, they can look into it, and it won't be another 6 months that go by and Alex doesn't put anything out there. So guys, this device is maybe one of my favorite energy medicine devices for the masses. Okay, so I'm talking about the millions, the billions, depending on what condition we're looking at. But let's just say a huge amount of people that are suffering from a variety of different conditions. Okay, and so I'll give you like one example. There's millions of people that have probably like a billion, but that have a musculoskeletal sort of issue. They're in pain, inflammation, soreness, an injury. The list goes on. Musculoskeletal meaning something going on with their tissues that is giving them discomfort. And I'm not necessarily talking about disease though, per se. But essentially, the technology is called Scenar therapy, okay? Now, I want you to Google a few things. One is TENS therapy, TENS, because you've probably heard about it. I would say 1 out of 3 people or more have heard about it because it's actually flooded the market because Big Pharma, the American Medical Association, and the FDA made it their prerogative a few decades ago to flood the market with TENS units and bring it under the scope of practice for a doctor so they could say, hey, you should use a TENS unit, for this phase after surgery or, for this reason. And let me write a prescription for you, right? That's the main reason it became so mainstream, especially in Canada and the United States. But I will hold on for a second because really where that inferior technology came from was out of microcurrent therapy. So Google microcurrent therapy, MICRO therapy, and then read up just a little bit on that. It started a few decades ago because it's related to the fact that you can run a microcurrent in a frequency range that's below 1 hertz, and you can test different points on the body and run different frequencies of direct microcurrent into these areas and do all kinds of fascinating things that go through specific fibers in the body and can stimulate the body and tissues in different ways that can elicit a healing response. Okay, that's the really non-technical, super short explanation, okay? Very extensively studied, and I mean that very extensively, decades. A lot of this technology started in Russia, who's always been the leader in investment, really, R&D with frequency-based medicine. Now, Scenar here, because I know you're looking at this page right here, I just pulled up, by the way, a random, pretty good site on Scenar. And by the way, just even the case studies over here, there's actually more official clinical studies. A lot of them are in Russian. There's also real extensive peer-reviewed studies. Either way, Scenar, you can also read about the history over here, Dana's Pain Relief Store. Danos is really kind of like the family and the ones who are behind most of the Scenar technology and bringing it to market. And at this website, they have some excellent links over here. They have the best training on the market. And I actually work with this distributor mainly because they do such good training and they have the best prices as well. And you can always let them know my name, Alex Terrace, and he'll be able to maybe work something out for you in terms of a little bit of a better deal or as a promo. Anyways, bottom line though, again, a little sidetracked here, is do check out these links here. I'll put them in the description box below and just start reading. Read about Scenar technology, how it works. This is all actually really helpful, good information here. Keep in mind that Jimmy, he's the guy that is behind all this, works 20 hours a day. He has webinars every week. He has extensive educational and training materials to as deep as you want to go with it. So Scenar is this one explains it really well, this page here, okay? But the issue with the TENS, there's a few issues, but if you send the same current and the amplitude is also too high, your nervous system becomes adapted to it very quickly, and it basically just ignores the signal and has no effect. Actually, they've tested even further and found, hold on a second, if you use it enough, it can basically fry your nerves. and it can actually lead to ATP loss and affect the mitochondria not producing as much ATP, which then affects 50,000 other things in your body in that area. So it really can do the opposite of healing, and it just has a numbing out effect. It's not therapeutic, basically, bottom line, at least the way that most people use it. And even if you use it appropriately, it's minimal in its effects, and there's better modalities out there. Scenar works very different. Instead of setting a constant signal, first of all, it's setting it in the microcurrent category, and you have access to like 10,000 frequencies depending on your device. You have thousands of frequencies, so you can basically send what the body actually wants, what it needs for that specific condition, which is very unique. And so it'll send the signal into the body and wait for it to send it back, and then it reads what that signal is. This was a real breakthrough when they came out with this. So it's a type of biofeedback. If you don't know what biofeedback is, another great thing to Google, just Google biofeedback. And you'll see that keyword right here. I'll put it in the description box below. All these things you have to Google if you don't know about them. But anyway, so each new signal differs from the previous one, overcoming adaptiveness of the body to a single continuous electrical signal, as in the TENS. So this is like next level breakthrough. Reason why is because your body is always adapting. And when you bring in a new protocol, you take a new supplement, or you think a new thought, or whatever, the immune system's job is to make sure that all these different systems in your body are trying to go through positive adaptations, aka homeostasis, aka trying to self-regulate and heal and maintain a better state of health. So the issue is that people can have degenerative processes that set in from a variety of causes, and the capacity of the body to positively adapt through self-regulatory processes starts to be affected, okay? And it can't do it quite as well as it did. Like if you're 50 right now, you're not adapting as well as when you were 15 or 10, okay? We all know that's something that happens for many reasons. So anyway, scalar therapy, it just goes into all the effects that it does here. One of the fascinating things of what makes this one of the more powerful modalities out there, and I really stand by that statement, is that it influences neuropeptides, okay? And neuropeptides are basically, it goes, they talk about, they're natural opium painkillers and reduce inflammation, and that's all great stuff. And honestly, people who in a lot of pain, it's like a miracle when they try this. And that's all great, I like that, but neuropeptides are so much more. Neuropeptides really are like the messengers on the nervous system level, which is where all the information is being sent, instructing your body to do everything, including your mind. Okay, neuropeptides are what's responsible for all the information that's required to heal, to regulate different therapeutic things your body goes through, essentially. And it's part of the adaptation process. So it's like the chemical aspect of information, right? Information can be like coming on your phone, right? And it's just like a frequency signal, right? But when it gets into the body, it will have a chemical correlation, okay? That will continue to carry out that message. So this is actually affecting, to that level, neuropeptides. And I'll give you a little side tangent here. This is also related why some people get a very good healing response with cannabinoids from THC, marijuana, medical marijuana, but again, the CBDs, right, that you now see all over the place, in chocolate when you're checking out in the store, right? Okay, so that stuff really can be very therapeutic for everybody. It doesn't work for some people. Bottom line, though, is that part of the reason it works is because it's also having an effect on this chemical chain reaction of messages that are sent cell to cell. And so there's some similarities here. So what am I saying? I am actually saying that a scalar, I believe, is way beyond CBD, if we're now making a little comparison here, because you have access to a wide variety of frequencies. You have that biofeedback aspect to it. And also because there's so much research, there's at least a solid 30 years of not just Russia, but there's 2 million users worldwide, and there's so much that's been learned out in the field in case studies. They're always, like even right now, if you got in touch with Danos in Russia, they would be working on something, a new condition, figuring out how it can help with this particular brain. I mean, it's always growing, and when you look at all the different equipment and modalities and devices out there, a lot of them aren't continuing to look at new applications of the technology and trying to figure out how they can positively affect what that is. Because they have access to so many frequencies and the biofeedback capabilities, there's so much more to explore that just takes thousands of hours of manpower or woman power to basically figure out and then pass that information on to people in the form of trainings. Why I really like Jimmy, by the way, too, is because he, more than anybody, he has really spread this technology far and wide for this continent, though he works with people all over the world. But he has really worked hard to try to bring back more of these gems, this precious information in Russia that they're not always sharing, with a lot of the rest of the world. And he's really tried to downstep that and really literally translate it and spread just their amazing insights and therapeutic healing application information. So there's so check this out. So like on his website, he does wherever it is on the main page, it's a 30-day, here we go, money back. Guys, I work with so many different companies and technologies, and very few, I don't even know if I could count one on my hand, have a 30-day money back guarantee. The reason he has this is because so long as you send a quick message to him and say, hey, I have these conditions, or you message me, and it obviously fits within the scope of therapeutic possibility of this technology and this therapy, then that stamp will probably, be accurate from the standpoint that you will not have to utilize it. He has this guarantee because hardly anybody ever returns this thing unless they just bought it and they didn't tell anybody why, and they were trying to treat something or heal something or get some relief with something that was way outside the scope of what's possible with this device. Then that might be that type of situation. But if it falls within the scope of therapy, which is very far and wide, I'm trying to find the page that actually goes into all the different types of conditions, but it is vast. At least 1,000 different types of conditions can have a positive effect with this. And I'm going to say that even if you're in a gray area and you're like, gosh, I don't know if it's going to help with this, and this is a weird kind of condition, I'd say, gosh, with 30 days, I think it's worth a shot, even if you think that you might not fall into there. It's no financial risk, what the heck. And so with this technology, it's a little handheld device. The PCM6 is their latest model. You'll see on that website. That's the latest working model. Has the most programs. It's just the most sophisticated one. It's around $600, which is very low cost for what it does. You can treat all kinds of stuff. It's just non-invasive. You just touch the little electrode at the end. Say you have a shoulder injury, and you're just going to follow the training. It's very comprehensive for a shoulder issue, let's say, a variety. And you just treat little spots here and there. Just a couple minutes. It's really, really fast. A couple times a day if you have to, but it's very short treatment times. And then with that, they also have, besides the handheld, they have something called the Vertebra, and it's just basically looks like a little back rest, and it has tons of electrodes on it, and it'll treat all kinds of different points up and down your spine. And that can basically access all kinds of different organs and glands and all these different nerve branches, you name it. Obviously, your spine is connected to a lot of stuff, and that's totally hands-free. So you can select through 6 programs where you think where it's applicable for you. And it'll actually even look into the body through biofeedback mechanisms, and it just basically runs everything automatically. So something like that's around $2,000. It's a little over that, actually. I think that's also just a fantastic deal considering what it can do. And of course, one of its strongest applications is any sort of back issue. It's like a miracle for a back issue. And so if you're hearing this right now, check out that device. If it's still a little too rich for your budget, you can get fantastic results with the little handheld, the 600. It just means that you may have to have somebody, if you can't quite reach the spots, just work on those spots for you. But some spots you could reach, theoretically, depending on your ability to reach. Anyways, that's it for now. Please read those couple pages. Don't hesitate to reach out to Jimmy and say, hey, when's your next educational webinar? Because he does like 3 of them every week. That even goes in, and it even has a Q&A. So he works very hard just making sure everybody's questions are answered. And bottom line is, please just spread the knowledge about this technology. Do your homework, look into it. And if don't think you can use it, but somebody, you say, you know what? This person has this issue. I'm just going to let them know. Look into this technology, just let them know. Just spread this technology. The only way it's going to spread is if people like myself, people like you, just start telling people. They tell their practitioner that they're seeing. And if you're a practitioner right now, by the way, this is a fantastic adjunct therapy for probably a lot of things you're currently treating, whether you're a DC, a PT, an LMT, and a variety of other acronyms. You can actually use this, before another procedure or after, and it just enhances everything that you're doing. And there's like hardly any contraindications at all. Just a couple, but they are extremely minimal. And they would maybe account for like 1% of the people you see. So that's it for now. Thanks for hanging in there with all this information. If you have any questions, you can find me on my website, healthhacksreview.com, which is in the description box below. And you can ask me questions in my live chat, through my email, you can give me a call, you can leave comments below in my video. And I hope, again, that you spread this technology forward. Thanks for watching my video. Appreciate it.